Hello, my name is MeShona, and I'm originally from Louisiana, and I've had vitiligo for about 19 years or more. I discovered vitiligo in high school, and I had it over my eyes. It was like a little raccoon spots. My parents took me to Dr. Bergeron in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I was treated with light treatments, and then it went away. Then I moved to the East Coast, and some way the stress of the move and relocating from a small town to Louisiana, from Louisiana to Atlanta, I actually noticed that I ended up getting more spots on my hands. I spent a significant amount of time as a flight attendant, and my dermatologist here in Atlanta, she thought that maybe some of the chemicals and fuels that I was around as a flight attendant actually had some kind of toxic effect on my immune system. At that time, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, thyroid disease. And then I went under some other light treatments which really didn't work. Some of them caused some burning on my skin. From there, I just kind of embraced living with vitiligo. I did struggle for a while as it became more significant on my face, but I was actually in the mall at one of the retailers to buy some makeup, and I discovered that the makeup that I was utilizing had been purchased by a large global brand, and they actually changed the colors from the name of the color to a number. So I wrote the company and told them how unfortunate it was because so many people suffer from vitiligo, melasma, and rosacea who may not want to be recovered or rematched in the middle of the mall, because it is a very personal experience when you expose your flaws in public. And they actually wrote me back and asked me for pictures of before and after, and from there something that could have been somewhat negative experience ended up turning into me being a spokesmodel for a major brand that's marketed in the US and in Europe as well. So my vitiligo actually turned out to be a blessing. Every year I travel to the American Academy of Dermatology, where I meet dermatologists and medical professionals and researchers from all over the world, and also about approximately 20,000 dermatologists in the US alone. So I get to interact with them. I get to speak with them about the brand, the significance of living with vitiligo, and how important it is to treat patients and educate and counsel them regarding coverage and camouflage techniques. I do also offer camouflage counseling as well, as oftentimes I'm approached by young ladies or parents of children with vitiligo to actually speak with them about different therapies that I've tried, and also for referrals to dermatologists. I first realized my parents first noticed my vitiligo when I was in high school. I probably was about 16 years old. They took me to a dermatologist in Louisiana, in my hometown, and I was initially treated with light treatments. I actually have had issues with going on job interviews, whereas the universal handshake is sometimes extended and often taken back, because some of the interviews that I've been on, the actual unfortunately HR personnel or interviewer thinks that perhaps my hands are contagious, and sometimes at the end of the interview they may ask me about my health condition, which I think is kind of interesting that that subject would come up. But I've had the universal handshake extended and then taken back out of fear that I could possibly be contagious. And among some of my fellow vitiligans, they actually have also had those same experiences. So it has affected me as far as in my career and seeking a job. So is vitiligo similar to leprosy? Because there are certain leopard colonies still here in the United States. So I've had that question asked of me as well. But Definitely, I've had more of a negative impact in my adult life rather than in comparison to me being in high school. And again, it is going on those corporate interviews and interacting with the interviewer and having some questions asked of me about my health condition. I became empowered through my experience as a spokesmodel for a major brand of camouflage and concealment makeup, where I actually again traveled to every year for the American Academy of Dermatology, and I was able to interact and gain more information relative to some of my other fellow vitiligons who did not have that information available to them, and sitting in on some of the clinical studies and clinical trials and research that is being implemented and tested now, especially when it relates to skin cell transplantation. So the platform that I was allowed and so blessed with through the brand that I am a spokesmodel for has allowed me to be able to reach out to actually have evidence-based research conversations, depending on how in-depth some of the people that I interact who approach me about vitiligo. I'm very empowered to actually have tried several different products, product samples, and then also really actually experimenting, if you will, with different types of concealment products and or therapeutic remedies. I would say when I meet other people who suffer from vitiligo, like myself, they actually think that I'm beautiful, and I tell them that they're beautiful as well. I'm gonna start crying.
Very humble.
And I try to communicate to especially the children, especially the young women, that it's beauty from the inside out, and that beauty is not in the face. Beauty is the light of the heart. And I also try to educate people who approach me about my vitiligo and other vitiligo sufferers that how can we embrace cats and dogs who have freckles and flaws or discolorations on their skin, or their horses like Appaloosa horses, and we look at nature, the beauty in nature, and see the beauty. We need to look at ourselves as being beautiful as well. I'm sorry.